Hello, my name is Soraya Mia and this is It's About Youth. The gig sector has experienced a significant growth in recent years, with many Malaysian youths participating in the gig economy. Now, with almost 50% of SPM leavers in 2021 choosing not to pursue furthering their study, this is according to the data by the Ministry of Education, 26% actually express interest to join or to pursue a career in the gig economy. But how can the gig economy actually tackle the problem of youth unemployment in the country? Now, we have on the show today Jenzen from Penggerak Belia Selangor, or PEBS Bukit Gasing, as well as Joshua Tan from Troopers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
With the data that I just shared, almost 50% of youth choosing not to pursue the traditional career path. Instead, many of them want to go into the gig economy. Why do you think this happens?
I think actually it's a mixture of factors. I think the main factor would be there is a lack of interest in pursuing the further education, because further education in Malaysia, unfortunately, is expensive. You do need to pay a certain amount to enter university. Public universities, there are limited places, and it's only restricted to those of certain qualifications. You're based on your results. And private universities, are far more expensive, definitely less affordable, and therefore there's less accessibility. And I think it's also due to the economic situation currently, where a lot of the youth don't feel it is economically viable to pursue further education for another 4 years, and you're going to take up more money, more funds are needed. And I think they feel that, why not I go out and work and find income my own, and at least I am productive. And I think this is something that why the gig economy has expanded so much in Malaysia is because due to exactly these reasons: affordability issues, lack of interest. And I think these factors do play into the role why the gig economy is big in Malaysia, and I think it's expected to grow in the near and far future.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talk about the gig economy, right, there are many advantages, like why youth choose this. Perhaps it could be because, as you mentioned, flexibility of work. Maybe there is a time for them to choose their job opportunities, and potential for also higher pay jobs to begin with, right? But maybe you can name some of the challenges within the sector.
Yeah, I think just building upon what Jensen was saying just now, I think, if you look on the Troopers app, 70% of our users range between the age of 18 to 35. So a lot of them are working within the gig space. And I think what you said is very true as well, because the average user on Troopers earns about 60% more than minimum wage. So gig work actually offers a very good alternative for the youth, that are looking for more flexibility and stuff like that. But when it comes to challenges, I'm sure, there are a whole host of challenges, and that's one of the reasons why myself and my partners in Kelvin, we started Troopers, right? And some of the fundamental issues that we see is the exploitation of certain people that work within the gig economy, or the part-time flexible work industry, right? Some of those include not getting paid on time, people getting scammed, and maybe some of us may be very aware with some of the messages that we get on WhatsApp looking for part-time jobs. So what we actually do here at Troopers is to provide Malaysians, especially our youth and anyone that's looking to work within the gig and flexible work space, a safe, secure and transparent environment to work within. So they are assured that the jobs that they are taking on within the Troopers platform is legitimate. They are assured that they are getting paid on time. And on top of that, we provide access to early wage, for example, and also insurance coverages. So we are trying to create an environment where people can feel confident working in the gig space. And the things that we are trying to overcome includes providing financial access to gig workers and flexible workers, because a lot of them, when they operate within this industry, either get paid via cash or not able to recognize their income. So then that prevents them from getting access to financial loans, microfinancing, so on and so forth. And these are initiatives that we are trying to solve at Troopers through our platform.
Right. When we talk about these challenges, there is also a role of the government. I mean, in terms of policies, but the government has acknowledged that the gig economy is expanding. There's a lot more that could be done. And there has been some, recent initiatives by the government to, tackle the problem within the gig economy. So what are your suggestions in terms of policies that the government can
I think for me
work on?
personally, what the government has done so far, both at the federal and state level, actually, Selangor does have a comprehensive gig economy plan. I think so far they have been doing, I would say, enough to maintain the current status quo. Like, there was plans to offer EPF protections, and to recognize these gig economy workers as, part of the wider workforce. And I think my suggestions would be, try to expand that and try to make sure that the gig economy workers are well recognized, given proper protections under the current laws. And also, I think there has to be a way to register. I think currently I'm not sure whether the gig economy workers are registered under the current database, but I think there definitely has to be certain forms of registration. When, for example, if you join a gig economy provider workforce, for example, you do need to register yourself as a usual employee. You have to submit your income, your tax, all your protections, and I think this should be applied to the gig economy workforce as well. And I think that will henceforth provide them more protections, more rights, and give them, I think, a better confidence in pursuing the gig economy. Especially this will apply to youths who are looking to join the gig economy. And I think this will give them more confidence that this work actually is sustainable, and this work actually will give them the same benefits as if you are just joining a usual work with a degree and so on and so forth. So I think that should be the main aim of future policy initiatives, and I think that will give better confidence to those who are looking to join the gig economy, and that will actually establish the gig economy as really a viable way for youth after SPM, for example. And you don't need to pursue the current status quo of joining a university, and that will only lead you to success in future life. That something is not really sustainable. And I think, as we can see currently, there are based on a statistic, not all the youths are going to go into university. There's already a large portion that want to go into the gig economy. So I think better protections, better registration, and also I think transparency, especially in terms of setting at least a certain minimum hourly wage for gig economy. And I think this will definitely give more confidence, and it will inspire more people to join the economy, and they see it as a well-regulated, enforced space that they can safely earn an income, and they will not fall prey to whatever dangers that
exploitation.
Exploitations, so on and so forth.
So troopers, together with PEBS, have recently launched the Gig Transformation Initiative. This aims to actually, give the protection or promote upskilling in terms of, for the gig workers. But as we know, gig workers or anyone who wishes to enter into the gig economy can just sort of do so, if they wish, without any prior qualification or certification. But what kind of added benefits can this Gig Transformation Initiative actually bring to the gig workers?
Actually, I think there will be a lot of benefits. For example, if you join this initiative, you will have access to the Troopers app. So you join it through the Troopers app, and there you'll be you will still need to fill in the usual details and everything. And what Troopers does is that they will give you, once you join successfully, you join, and then you are given work. You'll be given, I think, insurance coverage, and you'll be given other protections, for example. And it's very transparent. You were telling me that it was very transparent. The way that they are doing this app is actually, I think, really, really innovative, and it gives a lot of benefits to those that join. And additionally, PEBS is also funding a joining bonus. So once you do join, once you apply and you successfully are part of this program, you'll get a joining bonus after 2 or 3 weeks on the job. So that will give added incentive for those who are looking to join.
One of the main aims is upskilling, right? Maybe you can talk a bit more about this. As I understand, although the gig economy or the gig sector offers this sort of solution to youth unemployment, we do know that it's not very long term. It's so maybe upskilling would help in long term. What would you like to share on that?
Yeah, so upskilling and micro credentials is something that I'm really, really excited about, and also something we're really excited at Troopers, right? So to build upon a little bit on what Jenzen said, for anyone that's interested to join this program, right? I'm sure they have a lot of questions. How do you get on board? And like you said, if you wanted to join the gig economy, you can literally join any work groups on Facebook or on WhatsApp, so on and so forth. But what Troopers offers here is a platform where you can join our platform, where we will provide you with a very clear onboarding process. As part of that, we will also put you through our Troopers Academy, where we give you a very robust opportunity to understand how to operate within the gig economy, what to look out for, and at the same time to prepare you with initial credentials. For example, if you wanted to work in the F&B industry, we will ensure that you are properly vaccinated when it comes to food handling. Also, we'll provide you with relevant certifications from a food handling standpoint. And all this will go towards their upskilling journey, right? And in Troopers, that's something that we really value. So some of the things that we want to do, or we are already currently doing with Troopers Academy, is to upskill talents in very specific nature of work. So when it comes to food and beverages, hospitality, even in events, or even in shared services, where it has to do with working on Excel or Word, Microsoft Word. So what this opportunity really presents is for Malaysians, or especially the youth, to look at gig economy not just as the final solution, right? They can always see this as a stepping stone for them to get upskill, and also to be provided with the micro credentials, then to move on to be more employable in the future in the full-time workforce, right? And that's actually one of the key reasons of why we wanted to start Troopers, was to empower young Malaysians with the opportunity to say, hey, if I'm in university and I wanted to, when I graduate, I wanted to earn 4,000 or 5,000 as my initial income, that's a great initiative, right? But how do you justify that? And we see gig work or flexible work and part-time work as a good stepping stone for them to build those credentials, to be more futurely employable in the workforce in the future.
Yeah, I like that. With the 1 minute we have before break, how can, like when we talk about the gig sector, we always think about food deliveries or, like delivery services and,
Right.
and mostly food and beverages. But there's also, hospitality, there's also event sector. How does this gig transformation initiative plan to reach to a wider range of people in the sector?
I think we are currently starting this off launching in Petaling Jaya. So the candidate pool is large. And I think once we start expanding it, the Troopers app, our initiative, is not limited to any industry. So, once you join, you'll be given assigned to work with their clients. And the industry is wide. There are clients there are many industries. And I think this is a very good opportunity for those who are wanting to have a new experience. So it's not limited to any particular sector or particular industry. It's a very wide, open-ended, and it's up to you, up to your talents, and up to your interests to join which sector of your liking.
I see. Well, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll discuss more on how the gig economy can assist or tackle the problem of youth unemployment right after this. Hi, welcome back to It's About Youth. I'm Soraya Mia, speaking to Jenzen from PEBS, as well as Joshua Tan from Troopers. Now we are discussing about the gig economy and how to tackle youth unemployment. Now when we talk about the gig economy, there are many advantages, many benefits, but then there's also the challenges, like, one of the main challenges is protection, and also having the safety net, or the option in a traditional career path. You would have the EPF savings. So how can people in the gig economy actually have this benefit as well when they opt for this side of the job?
I think personally, I would say that the EPF contributions, as you mentioned, are actually very important and very integral to the usual workforce. So why is there EPF? It's because that the government, or from a personal basis, is to enforce savings. So a lot of people, whatever salary they get, they either spend it or use it for other things. So they don't really retain a certain amount for savings, and that presents a lot of issues, especially in the future once you are no longer able to work, or maybe you're faced with an accident and you're unable to work. So at least there is a safety net. You have a certain amount of savings, and the gig economy currently does not have this. So it could be worrying. For example, especially if high risk jobs, for example, you are on a motorcycle, you are a delivery rider, suddenly you are faced with an accident. What are the options you have? You don't have a lot of them. They don't have insurance coverage. You don't have the EPF. So where are you going to get those the funds for you to operate on yourself, or maybe seek medical treatment, which could be expensive? So I think for me personally, protections are needed in the gig industry, especially EPF contributions. It can be optional for those who feel that you want to have more take-home income, but I think it has to be an option for those that who want that savings. At least you have a safety net, and this will ensure that whilst you're in the gig economy, you are protected, and once you get out of it, maybe you find other jobs, you still have a certain amount of savings. So this will be good for your future once in your old age, and this is something that I feel that should be implemented in the gig economy currently.
How could it be accessible to all of the gig workers? When we talk about it being optional, perhaps there might be lack of awareness of the importance of EPF or savings, especially to people in the sector. Would you like to add anything?
I think for me personally, if you want to see it in terms of awareness, I think the awareness of savings is quite, I think people do understand, that we do need to save. But the economic reality is that I need more take-home income. I need to use it for my own expenses, my own household, and if certain amount of it is taken away, I have less money to spend. But there is also the eventual reality that you do need those savings for your future. And I think gig economy, the way we want to increase this awareness is to say that hey, you can have an EPF. Why don't you try to have EPF? And it's optional. If you don't want to save for this month, you can opt to not. So that mechanism, I think, is good for gig economy because they are informal. They they can move in and out of jobs easily. So having that option, maybe I have a bit more this month, I can save a bit more. Maybe this month I need the money more. I have other expenses that have come up. I will be able to save. I need more money, and I henceforth cannot save as much. So I think there is a viable way to proceed with this, and it's giving them an option. So in the long run, it's better than not having any protections at all, and at least there is still that certain amount of savings at the end of the day. So I think this awareness is built by engaging with the community, engaging with the gig economy workers, telling them the importance of having savings, having insurance, and also having a certain amount of job security and job benefits, which maybe they don't really understand or they don't feel it's necessary because they are just earning whatever they have and they are using it.
Mm-hmm. So what is the role of this gig transformation initiative in terms of helping raise this awareness? Maybe you could add?
Yeah, I think everything that Jenzen said is spot on, and he took the words out of my mouth. But I think one of the more important things is in order to execute all this, you need a platform. And that's essentially what Troopers is, right? We have a platform that people are able to track all their transactions in terms of their work that they do on a singular place. And that allows for whatever entity or organization or government or non-government that we can partner with to execute whatever initiatives that we would like to do, whether it's EPF contribution on an optional basis, or even SOCSO coverage, right? That's something that we are currently working with Perkeso, where they are launching as part of our Troopers Protect Plus program, right? So if you're working on Troopers and you're doing it on a very flexible basis, then you can opt for Troopers Protect, which is absolutely free, that we provide coverage up to 25,000 ringgit. But if you do more consistent work on Troopers, then you can opt for Troopers Protect Plus, where it's also free. Well, actually not really free, but we subsidize, or SOCSO subsidize a certain percentage, and then Troopers subsidize the remaining, right? So what really happens for the user is they don't need to pay any contribution whatsoever, and they can enjoy all the coverage and benefits that SOCSO can provide through the Troopers Protect Plus program. Now, I think everything that Jenzen said in terms of making EPF optional contribution, I think that's really true, because a lot of our users on our platform, whatever they earn on a daily basis, that's what they use to put food on the table, right?
Yeah.
And I think one of the major issues with the youth nowadays is, we are being taught or encouraged to think about what's going to happen in the next 30, 40 years if we don't save. But I think we're also missing out on the reality of that people are not actually able to survive today, right? Or even this month alone, right? So I think EPF is important. That's something that we want to do. That's something that we are very eager to implement on our platform, working with the relevant organizations. But we hope to make that optional, right? And also have a framework that we can put in place so that youth today can make the right decision. And on top of that, partnering the right organization to provide education in terms of financial planning, financial management, all of which we can execute on the Troopers platform. So I think that's where we come in. That's where we hope we should be able to contribute to make a difference in the lives of the youth of Malaysia.
Nice. When we talk about platforms, like since the rise of the gig economy, there has been many websites, applications that have rise to provide these opportunities to the youth who want to get into the gig sector. But of course, with these technology, there is leveraging on AI. Maybe you can share a little bit on that, like how does AI help troopers or the gig economy itself expand more in the country?
I think AI is a really good technology, and I think it's also a very good disruptor. So AI being, I would say, is a double-edged sword. There are so many benefits to AI that, without AI, you are unable to get. There's a lot of automation. There's a lot of reduction of costs for especially companies, and also I think there's a streamlining of services. So it makes it easier for the consumer to access certain services that they need. But also the downside is that inevitably jobs will be lost. There will be certain jobs that will put out of commission due to AI. And
that's kind of funny, right? Because we're talking about tackling unemployment, but then AI comes in, and then it's a great disruption. But at the same time, it can also help. I mean, it can also make reduce jobs. I mean, like people lose jobs. So you were saying,
and that's the issue. I think for me personally, AI has to be implemented in a way where you have the least impact to jobs, for example, and also to experience those industries where jobs are not popular. For example, if it's manual labor, manual factory work, for example, youths are not going to these jobs. Youths are not going to factories to work. There's a large majority of youths now. Why they have the gig economy? Because at least they have this flexibility, and they are not tied down with certain things. And that's why currently we see there's a large demand for foreign labor, because local youths, they are not going to palm oil estates to work anymore. Certain industries are not popular among youths. So I think we have to leverage AI in those industries where youths are not really going to, and try to ensure there is job creation for industries where it's popular among youths. So that's where AI comes in. So I think AI, in a way, really gives an opportunity to youths where they have access to more jobs that they want. And jobs that are not really wanted, they are not affected. And then companies, they still can make a cut, they still can carry on with their own business model with AI, and they don't need to worry about lack of labor, for example. So I think that's where AI can benefit the youth. And I think it's something that will be definitely explored in the future. AI now is on the rise, projected to be a very integral part of the global economy in the next 5 years. So that's where I see AI playing a role, especially in the Malaysian context, where there's still a very high demand for foreign labor. And I think we can reduce that demand by automation with AI, at the same time not affecting the youths in Malaysia that are looking for jobs.
Since you're in the tech-based startup, what is your expectation in terms of as Jenzen mentioned, the next 5 years AI will probably be even more significant globally, not only in Malaysia, right? So what do you predict within the gig economy? Do we see a large shift? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think, we mentioned off air just now as well, AI is something that you can take the good, and do the best that you can with it, but also it presents in itself its own danger. But I think what we do here at Troopers is really look at how we can leverage AI to provide value for both the job seeker and also the hiring manager. So what's very important to focus here is, in order for the gig economy to operate, you not only need the talent to work, but you also need the hiring managers to hire. right? And what's very important for hiring managers, especially when it comes to flexible workers, and the reality is this, a lot of them see flexible workers as more unreliable, right? If I hire someone today, are they going to show up for work today? And if they do, will they show up in the next couple of days? So what we do really well on the Troopers platform, or at least I'm really proud of what we're doing, but there's so much more we can do, is the rating system that we have. So for any talent that works on our platform, they get rated, they get reviewed, right? And that allows them to then improve on areas that they need to improve upon. But at the same time, it provides our hiring managers an avenue for them to provide feedback and to be able to get the right talent for the right job. So what we're using AI actually to do is to provide a more robust screening mechanism where, based on the working history, the feedback, the performance rating of the users on our platform, we use AI to be able to then match the right talent to the right hiring manager in a quicker, in a more efficient manner. And when it comes to what Jenzen was saying about cost saving, that's what we aim to do as well. So instead of having an individual sitting behind a computer doing the actual matching, what they can actually do is, AI itself can conduct that matching on its own.
The algorithm.
The algorithm can just do it on its own. And that allows, hiring managers to save. So through that, we can give them a more competitive service fee, and that can encourage more hiring managers to be on the Troopers platform. And in turn, that creates more work flexibility and opportunities and options for our users on the Troopers platform. So in Troopers, we're really excited about the power of AI, and we're obviously looking for different ways in terms of how we can leverage on it to provide more value, not only for our job seekers, but also for our hiring managers, so that we can build an ecosystem that is transparent, that is effective for both sides of them to operate within.
Yep. Well, exciting to see what will happen in the Malaysian gig sector in the next few years, but that's all the time we have now. Thank you so much once again for joining us on It's About Youth. That is all the time we have. My name is Ramya, and we'll see you again next time.